thing in here. Alex, can you do an audio test for me?
You're good.
Perfect. We're good. We're up and
You're
running.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend.
Good.
Good, 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 good. All right. So we have everything going downwards, right? I ignored this a little bit. We're just talking about, hey, when we get the relief rally, right? Today in the morning, I was mentioning, hey, you know what? We are on the support. If we can hold the support right down here, well, then we might have a chance to have the relief rally. The next thing that we would need to have is coming back down, bouncing here, and the best case scenario would be in this area right here, somewhere around 95, 96, right? So far, we continue going lower. Important, we are still in that big support. And what kind of big support is that? Let me bring things up in here and show you around a little bit. We're going to be moving from 1 hour all the way to 10, to daily. So let's zoom out in here, all right? And let's bring up first couple of indicators. Brace yourself because this is going to be messy. All right, and then I'm going to clean things up. All right, perfect. So the very first thing that we can see here, there it is. It's going to be our predictive ranges. All right, let me clear that up because I know we can barely see the price action. Now that everything is loaded, I can actually turn things on and off. There we go. And the very first predictive range that we're looking at, it is right here at 87,400. And the next one, 84,933. Guys, do you know what's interesting up over there? We have a gap to be filled. Not only that, we also, if we start turning the rest of our indicators up, we can see confluence. What kind of confluence? Two predictive ranges matching each other, especially all the way right down here about 84-ish. All right, let's bring up now the 4-hour time frame. And of course, I want to start making sure that I do have my reversal signals turned on. So let's go over here. Let's see, do we have some reversals? Yes, we do. Let me make sure that it's also turned on, and this is going to reflect on the daily. But so far, I'm looking for another reversal on the 4 hours. Why is that? I do believe that if we come back down here and we get that reversal up down here, and we have a higher low, right? And remember, we've been talking about this movement since yesterday. We might have the chance to have the relief rally right around the weekend. That will be poorly made on the weekend because that is a low volume. So just be careful throughout the weekend. Despite it might be looking bullish, well, might be a bad idea to long and hold it. All right. So remember, take some profit as you go and also leave a moon back at the end. So what does that mean? Let's just imagine right now, just for the example, right, that we come back down to 84. We can catch it. If we turn on our indicators, let's wait for this area to actually pop up. And come on. There it is right here. So we're looking for that area right there. And then the price action comes in, just this, right? And at this point, you are longing the thing on the way up, all right, with your stop loss. Take some profits. I would like to take 50% out first, all right, for the full, out of the full position. Another 50% out if we can make it up here. If we can make it up here, another 50% of whatever was left, and then leave a final 25% from the original position somewhere around here in case this goes to the moon. I don't think so, but still, I'm going to leave it there. And remember, move your stop as soon as possible. Also, consider looking for another short as we get to these areas. What do I mean consider? Look at your oscillator, all right? And here's where a pro tip comes in place. And let me show you. I'm going to be adding just my, well, I think I can do it right here. Look at these zones, and for that, I'm going to turn everything off, every indicator, and I'm going to be using vertical lines, right? As we broke above the zero line in here, all right? And then as we broke below, as we broke above, as we broke below, as we broke above, right? As we broke below. And also here, not everything is perfect, but I think you get the idea. And I want to show you the non-perfect area, which actually is pretty helpful. This one right here. This one that it's in a box is not cleanly up or not cleanly down. What does that mean? Like, for example, in here, it's very up. I mean, it's above your zero line. There's nothing below. What happened with the price action there? Look at that. Beautiful push to the upside. Right here, there's nothing above your zero line. There's nothing, zero, nada. Right? What happens? You dump. All right. In here, well, you have that outlier, but for most of the case, you are below. What happens? You dump. You dump it, right? And in here, for most of the time, you are above. Yes, you have that little outlier, which is this little one, but for the most part, you are pumping it, right? And once again, it works the same little outlier, but for the main movement to the downside. And in here, as we were up, again, up, and as we were down, back down, right? So everything clear in there, right? Let's just address, and this is a side point, so if you're having a hard time understanding this, ignore this upcoming part. But this one right here calls for a range. Why? Because you have the equal amount of momentum up, equal amount of momentum down. Equal amount of momentum up, equal amount of momentum down, basically creating a cancellation zone. And if we take a look at that area right in here, we'll see that, yes, we slightly went downwards, but it was not such a big dump or anything like that. You can see the same amount went down, slightly the same amount went up, almost the same amount went down, same amount went up. All right. So if you start measuring those movements, they are very close to each other, just slightly bit more lower. And that's because the amount of peaks, one peak below, 2 peaks below, 3 peaks below versus 2 peaks above, that give it a slightly tilted downwards channel. All right. So once again, let's get back to either up or down. Right now, we are below. Perfect. And look at the price action, not the price action, sorry. Look at your oscillator action. It's pushing upwards, right? Let me move this out of the way. Pushing upwards, as it was also pushing upwards, and so on and so forth. So you can start seeing when we start pushing upwards, not every single time, but we get the chance to at least have one itty bitty movement to the upside, like this one. Again, I'm just looking, and let's add that just for reference. I'm just looking for a relief rally, and I mean, I'm going to be using that reference point since this area, since we broke below till we came back around in here. All right. So if we go for the worst case scenario, this will be our relief rally, putting us back in to the next area of interest zone. You see that? That's why we considered taking a look at for the next upcoming short. Important, if we get this short in here and we hold this area, I think for this very first bounce, we're doing it great. If we bounce back down one more time, I think we're doomed, and we're going to go find the next 80, 70 K target, all right? Because that will be a flat pause of bearish continuation. So far, we are in the middle of it. This will define the next possible range if we can get it. That will be cool for a stabilizing the price action on Bitcoin. So up or down, I would say at this point, I'm looking for a possible up movement, right? But still also consider short, long, short, right? Long, short, long. Until what is the breaking point? And we're getting there, by the way, right now. So the breaking point would be very close at this moment. Let's bring it up. Oh, come on. Where are you? Here it is. My breaking point will be, again, the 86 point. If we do this, well, forget about the range and go in and take a look at this area for a rejection instead of a breakthrough. That will be your shorting scenario. So keep an eye on both cases scenarios, so plan A and plan B, so you don't get left out in any of the movements around this area. Another important thing is that look at the top, we have all of the resistance, and at the bottom, we have none of the supports all the way down there. Let me now jump in here, and this is going to be the final part of my analysis. All right. And in here, we had, and let me bring again all of my indicators up. It's going to be messy. Okay, perfect. And let's zoom in into this party here, right? You see that, yes, we have big support at this area, and that's what we're holding. But the very next area of support, it's going to be the 92, 93, 94K, somewhere around this area. And if we go to the left, we'll see that if we have that golden line, if we draw it right around that area, we could have our next possible entry zone. All right. So let me clear this up so it's not such an obnoxiating chart. And let's just keep up the predictive ranges. This one's right here. And I would say maybe my order blocks. That will be as much as I want to see. All right. So we have lost this channel. And this is also getting a little bit overclouded. That's it. We have lost the channel here, and this has been a bigger loss of the channel that we have ever seen. I mean, yes, this itty bitty fake out, this fake out, this fake out. I was expecting the fake out, all right? But right here, that's what I wanted to see, the reversal. The thing is not going to do what I want. It's going to do what it needs to do. So we are basically almost about to confirm the bear market. What would it take to confirmation? Bounce and rejection. This rejection for me will call out the bearish scenario. And guess what? We have an alert at 98,529, right around that same area. So be careful. I mean, we're still following the same kind of like target on time that previous cycles. Is this cycle different? Yes, absolutely. Is this broken? Is the cycle broken? I don't think so. So remember, just every single cycle has been a little bit different. And I think this is not going to be the exception. But let me pass it over to you, Alex. And let me ask you, how was your day, my friend?
My day it just keeps getting better. It just keeps going lower. No, it's been good. It's it's a rinse and repeat. Like, I mean, this has been really easy trading, easy mode for me, but for a lot of people who can't switch their bias, who can't accept that we're going down right now, if you can't make that adjustment, it will reflect in your trading. Okay. Like I always say, keep, that hopium of the portfolio going up needs to be eradicated. That needs to be gone. Because you're not going to make money that way. If you think like retail, you hope like retail, you pray like retail, then it's not going to change your P&L. Okay? What's going to change your P&L is being able to adjust. Okay? Yesterday I was able to short here. I was able to long literally like right here, 131 on Solana. This morning I was able to long here, and I was also able to short here. But it's the same. It's this. I don't know how to explain this. As simple as, if I were to start this from the beginning of this dump, okay? Our consolidation dump, right? This has been rinse and repeat every single day. And if you can react to this, okay? If you can react to this, and to this, and to this, it's the same thing every single day. Okay? Consolidation dump. Hopium dump. Hopium dump. Now, for me, this is easy. I started trading in a bear market. So this is exactly the same that happened yesterday. Right? Is it not? Right? It's the same thing. Right? They sold you a dream. The idea is, they said, they give you this NVIDIA holding up the market bullshit. Everybody overnight gets extremely, extremely excited. Right? NVIDIA is going to save the day again. It's not reality, guys. You can't. There's a lot of cracks in the market right now. So until we have clarity and certainty, this is going to continue. Okay, nobody's stepping up to buy this right now. You can see this. There, hopium on NVIDIA earnings last night, and guess what? Complete rollover, right? Until you change structure externally, right? You had a little bit of a hopium change here. But, when you move up this aggressively, you should all understand what liquidity is, right? Okay. We had the sell wall here this morning. Did not take the short because that was on the jobs news. But then when you see price action in the morning, okay, and you're here and you're like, oh my God, I missed the move. That's what they want you to think. You must identify that emotion. Oh my God, we're going to Valhalla. We're just going to go back and retrace to the golden pocket. And then we're going up. And my bags are going to be saved, right? So where did they trap you this morning? They trapped you at the golden pocket. They trapped you at the order block. Okay. They trapped you really good, right? I got short here. I also got long in here. I got long off of the bull div continuation. I saw weakness. I got out. Okay. And I can show you that I took Solana for $2,000 or something like that. But in this environment, you must understand a couple of things. The big picture. Okay, so if we go through the big picture, weekly, daily, 12-hour. What is the trend on these? It's all down, right? The trend is all down on these higher term time frames. So it tells me I should favor shorts. Shorts is where the money is right now, guys. And shorts pay you well. Like if you get short in here, look how fast you're paid, man. You get long in here. That was a long ass wait I got long. That was a long ass wait yesterday. Shorts, you paid, man. You paid and laid. But our downtrend is apparent on a higher term time frame. So that means if we fail to change structure, yes, 4-hour change internally. Cool. Whoop-de-doo-da-day. What happens as soon as you mitigate? Okay, what happens is, see, you have a beautiful uptrend here. Aggressive, pumping. Guess what? You change structure right here. So understanding where we're at, mega downtrend. What are we looking for? Retest continuation. That's it. It doesn't need to be complicated. This morning you're under VWAP the whole day, right? If you look at VWAP here, there is no reason to. One of my rules on swing trades is if you're below VWAP, you're looking for shorts. If you're above VWAP, you're looking for longs. Well, look, VWAP did a pretty good job today, guys. Okay. Now, for me, I do scalp. So if we're looking at something like Solana, let me go into Solana. I was able to take this SFP here. Okay. I entered on the confirmation of the SFP here. So it's important to show your trades because, we're traders helping traders today, right? So I got long in here, 139 to 140, a quick scalp because I saw weakness, okay, for $2,000, right? So I entered right here. It pushed up. I saw weakness. I got out, okay? Guess what? It started to roll over. Guess what I did? I flipped short. Guys, I flipped short. Like 3 times. Right? And I'm not trying to hammer this position because I wasn't sure, but I entered short here, right? Another $200, right? And you stack those wins, you add to the short, you take another one, you take another one, right? I'm up like $8,000 today. Right? So yeah, it sucks that we're dumping, but if you have a plan and you can execute the plan for the day, like for me intraday trading, like I made today what I would make in a month as a carpenter. But that's only because I understand this and I manage my risk and I take high probability trade setups over and over again. And we read this. So in this environment, you can see we have volatility. So the number one thing that you must do is manage your risk. You must use good risk management, stop losses, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Also, you must understand the bigger picture. We're moving. So there's lots of money to make. If it's moving like this, there's tons of money to make. Look at this, man. I mean, yesterday pump, dump, pump, dump. There's tons of money to take out of the market here because we're volatile, right? The VIX is at 22. We look at the VIX. Look at this thing. This thing is ripping. This is high volatility index, if you're wondering. Anything up around here is fast as fuck, right? This is when price action is moving. Now, the problem with when price action is moving, if you're not prepared and patient, it will wreck you faster than you're used to. So not only do you make money faster, but you can lose it faster too. It's a double-edged sword here, which means it requires an extreme amount of patience and discipline and risk management in this environment. Tons of people just blowing up accounts lately. Why? Because the price is moving too fast and they haven't adjusted to that. How do you adjust to fast price action? Well, you lower your position size, you give yourself a little bit more wiggle room. You're okay being wrong. You're okay being wrong. You must be okay being wrong. If you have an 80% win rate, that means you're wrong 20% of the time. You must be okay with that. Okay, so what now, right? Bitcoin's dying. Coming down to our key levels down here below. I got some levels for you guys. But as we rotate down in a pink box, this is an order block volume level support and resistance hold. Okay, this is a key level right now, 88. I might buy some more Bitcoin if we come down into here. Slowly but surely. Okay, but remain patient here, right? All you need is structure. You don't need to wait for anything besides structure, right? Right now we're hunting liquidity. All these people who thought they were a smart ass, look how slow price moved here, guys. You think they're going to, just like we talked about that other low before, OC, you think they're going to let retail long the shit out of it. Right? You know, they're not going to give you a chance. They're going to go, boom, sayonara, see you later, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Every time.
Especially 3 a.m.
They're not going to give you this beautiful descending wedge, momentum breakout, continuation trade. They're not going to give you that. That's retail is all over that. I mean, in my Discord, 3 trade setups from traders in my Discord all long: Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. When I know that 3 traders in my Discord are all like, man, we're going giga long here, and they all make money, I know that's not the bottom. Right? You got to think like that. Not to say that they're bad traders, but if everybody can say that, hey man, let's go long here, what are they going to do? They're coming back for you if you haven't paid yourself, right? Okay? So understand that exactly the same as when we were talking about this low over here. OC was getting tired for months almost. How many times, OC, did I say they're going to come back for this guy? They're going to almost fuck destroyed. They didn't just come back for these guys. They absolutely destroyed these guys. Right? But forever. And that was August all the way till October, guys. But you recognize a low like this and everybody, oh my God, we're going to Valhalla. Alexo Crypto sold here. Alexo Crypto sold here. Okay? You recognize the bottom line. They ain't gonna give you that many opportunities to get giga long to go to Valhalla. No, they're gonna entice you and trap as much liquidity in here as possible, and then they're going to absolutely destroy you. That is their job. Okay. So what we're looking for now is relief. Where is relief, right? When we look at the charts, what we understand here is the relief. We would look for it to come in here. So this is my support and resistance area in here that I'm looking at right now. You can see hold the lows, hold the highs. Okay, we can go swing low to swing high. We can see that there's a golden pocket in here. We can use our chart prime indicators. We can see that there's order blocks probably down here if I were to go and rewind. So another way to find good order blocks, you can see how they populate over here. That's the most recent price action. For me, if I haven't done TA over in here and I want to get that data, you can rewind tool back into that area. Very useful, guys. and now it'll populate some information in this area that maybe you missed out because you weren't trading here or something. Look at that. We got a high order block here. You can mark out that. You can mark out this, right? I'm sure I already have, yeah, see, look. I already have my areas in that area. You can see I have a pink box in that high area, right? And I've done my TA over there. So I just extend these over to the right. Okay. So I go in here because I've done my TA in here. So I know where my buy levels are, my special levels are, and yada, yada, yada. But if you haven't done that, you can say that, hey, man, there's the liquidity. There's an order block in here. There's all that information in here, and make sure you're flipping through the time frames so you can be more specific on what you're looking for. Okay, and you can mark out those areas that you may or may not have done TA on, and that's a very good trick for using the indicators in price areas that we've really left behind, right? But we are returning to them, right? As you can see all the way down, I got key levels all the way down because I leave my levels on the chart as we progress up, right? So as we come down, I just extend all of these over, right? But you can definitely rewind tool back towards those guys and good to go, right? So right now, where are we at, right? We're looking for a bounce. Will we get it? It doesn't look like it, guys. It doesn't look too great, you know. They got us again. We got 3 drives bullish divergence in here looking for a potential bounce out of here. This is starting to look like a bottoming structure. Okay, this is starting. Okay, because we're getting a lot of liquidity. No buyers stepping up here yet. You can see exhaustion in the daily time frames here, 1 and 2, 1, 2. But this is nasty, guys. Just real nasty. This is just continuation. Big bearish engulfing. If we don't pop up above this wick here, that is nasty. So looking for a bounce in here. Okay, this is the bounce area, potentially. Will it bounce? All we need is structure confirmation. So we wait. Otherwise, you short it. That's the way. What do you think, OC?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are in the same line here. We're just waiting for some support area. I mean, we are on the support areas, right? But the support area right here, it's thick, right? And that comes from the previous zones of liquidity. Important. We have a question in here. I want to answer it my way, and also I would like to pass it over to you because I believe that we have 2 slightly different perspectives, but very interesting one. And in most of the cases, they end up colliding, not in a bad way, but summing one to another. So it's about Stock Scalping Samurai. He mentions, hey, how do you identify the liquidity zones, and how do you know there is liquidity, right? What it makes it a good area to long, and what it makes it a good area to short. All right, so let me first dive in here on how I do it. I use the indicators because I have it on my disposal, but also you can take a look at areas of interest, right? What is an area of interest? Where something happened, where people got trapped, and also where people had no chance to trade. All right, so that's why we call, in some cases, fair value gaps. All right, liquidity is just money sitting there. So how do you identify that money? Well, you can take a look at order blocks. It's one way, right? Or visually, instead of adding your indicator for order blocks, well, you can also take a look at where order blocks are most likely to be created. All right, so let me just clear this up. And there's 2 ways I find that. The first way, there it is, like for example in here. Let's take a look at it here. Look at that. Right here, we create a fair value gap. That's where people intended to trade, but they were not able to. Like Alex mentioned, do you think they're going to give you a chance? No, not really, right? And then when the price action goes, grab that liquidity from traders wanted to, what is it, shorted here, right? They accumulated shorts in here. And what happens? They also added to this and they cut down the flow. So first area for liquidity, when the price action moves very, very, very quick, almost no overlapping on candles, that creates orders left out. Not only that, there is a name for that, fair value gaps. I mean, fair value gaps, when we have fair value gaps, the theory tells you look for the 50% of that fair value gap. You can see that that was damn close to that 50%. In fact, if we take a look at just of this candle, because I like to use the previous support, you'll see that the actual 50% it's a little bit lower, almost exactly to that rejection point. Other thing or other areas where people get trapped or leave their open orders, it is where we have, and let me bring this up, here it is where we have what I call areas of interest. For example, right here, hedges, right? People might be hedging this. Hey, we're coming down. We should be longing it. Oh, or should we be shorting it? Oh, well, just hedge it, right? And then, as you can see, we come back down to these nuts in the market, right? If we untie that nut, you might be seeing that this actually could be very in line with a fair value gap. So when you start coming back down, you start seeing those little nuts that for once, those tend to be continuations, and for second, they tend to be areas of interest, of areas of liquidity to be grabbed once again. All right. So right in here, look at that coming down, and then we have a nut in here on the way down. All right. Did we went and claim it? Not really. Right, but it's liquidity left out there, right? Then coming down, we do another bigger nut for the bigger picture, and have we gone and reclaim it? Not really. Right here, we have a not really fair value gap, but let's consider it a fair value gap, and then we went to hit that 50%, right? So the relief rally, the first thing that we need to go for, it is bottoming patterns, and that all starts with a trend line. When you start seeing a fair value, a fake out or a V-shaped recovery, right? That is one of the signals that, hey, we have hit a localized bottom that, hey, bulls are telling you, you know what? I'm just not selling here. Do whatever you want. I'm not selling. Therefore, it comes down and boom, they got bought up, right? It got bought up. It gets bought up and quickly, right? That is the very first thing to look for. The next thing to look for, it is creating a higher low. Now we're starting to see that liquidity being flipped. All right. Or so the bullish versus bulls, bears versus bulls. Now the bulls are kind of like taking over. That's when you start looking for your nuts or liquidity zones, right? So TP number 1 here, TP number 2 here. The same thing, but inversed of what Alex was mentioning. Remember when we talked about that? Right around some other zone, and this is inverted. But remember, when Alex mentioned, and let me de-invert it so we can do actually a call out on that one. We were looking at, and this is the 4 hours. Yes, where was the very big dump? Direct. Well, that actually reflected on the. Here it is on the altcoins. So we have this liquidity went up and then come back down and get it. And not only get it, destroyed it. All right. So if we flip this up and look at this same example, let's actually flip it, invert scale. Where would that relief rally come to? Right. We're just looking for topping patterns. In this case, break out of your trend line, going up. In this case, creates a lower high, but remember it's inverted. And then we're coming for a liquidity zone to be grabbed. And if you take a look at it here, if we get this, we could be creating a head and shoulders. All right. Again, remember this chart is inverted. So let me invert it back. And by the way, this right now went flying. It's already time. But just to wrap things up, Alex, what usually you see for liquidity? I know we're running out of time. Maybe, I don't know, however long you want to answer that little question.
Yeah, it's for me. It's easy. So like, where are stop losses, guys? That's it. I mean, if you look at Chart Prime when you put it on, right? Where is it going to give you? It's going to give everywhere where people would put their stop losses, right? So liquidity, 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 right? Why did you take this high here? Well, you took this liquidity out of this high here, right? Right? Liquidity. So understanding where liquidity resides. Where's the liquidity now, right? So we're putting in, if people are long here, where are they putting their stop losses, right? So where's the liquidity? Right here, right? And then your chart will populate that as well, right? You can see all the liquidity up in here, right? As you flip through, you'll see all the liquidity in the highs and the lows here. Here's all your delta liquidity, right? So you're looking for, where would you put your stop loss, right? And then if they're hunting that, that's where you should put your entry, right? So if they're coming up for the liquidity of this high right here, like this morning, and it's a golden pocket, which I know, where are we looking to take the trade? I would say right there would have been a very nice entry for a trade today. Okay? Think about it. If you know where the liquidity is, you know where they're going, therefore you can anticipate a reaction on price and you can make lots of money. It's typically how I trade.
Absolutely. Alex, thank you so much again for a great class and the alpha that you're putting out there. Guys, thank you so much for joining. As always, not see you tomorrow, see you on Tuesday, because tomorrow and Monday is going to be canceled. And that's because we need to work on the back end. So it's kind of like a service thing that we're going to be
Let me know if you guys need help with anything too, OC.
Absolutely, my friend. That'll be more. I will be more than happy.
I'll break it if you want.
Let's go. Master Breaker. What was it? Master Debater. Let's get it.
I'm a master debating team.
Debating team. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Have a great weekend, OC. Don't work too hard, bro. Ciao.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Guys, as always, see you guys on Tuesday. And have a great day. All right. See you guys afterwards.